Hi guys and welcome back. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to install your own barn door. Now if you haven't seen the series up till now, we've actually been making this door ourselves. So there's two videos before this of how to make one, and I've got the door just off shot here. So if you have been following along, don't worry, I'm going to show you the door in its entirety in a second. But yeah, basically this is just going to be a video of using one of these cheap and cheerful Amazon rolling systems and just how to install one of these doors. So you don't have to make your own door, you can just pick up a door from like a reclaim centre or even B&Q, wherever, and use one of these systems. The process is going to be exactly the same, so just follow along and we'll get into there. But I am going to hop over now and just show the guys that have been watching the build along series the door. So if you don't want to watch that bit, just skip along a little bit and then we'll start the process of actually making it. So like I said, for you guys, here's the door in its entirety, all fully finished up now. We've got an Osmo on there. Now I put this Osmo on there 2 days ago and it's still a little bit tacky. So throughout this process you might see I'm going to have a lot of it covered up because we've got a little tiny bit of machining to do on here. We've got to put a groove in the bottom rail down here. We've got to put a little groove down here. And we've also got to like do the drilling and all bits and pieces like that. So I just don't want to get the finish all full of dust. But today is the only day that I've got to get this door on. So that's why we're doing this today. So yeah, we just want to protect this finish up a little bit. But there you go, guys. That is the door. Let me know what you think below. I think it's come out fantastic. And if you're wondering why my bracing's that way, if you haven't seen the videos beforehand, go and check the last video out and I explain all when I put this on. So anyway, I'm going to get this on the bench and then we can have a little look at machining all this up, and I'm going to stop waffling. This one is not going to be as talky as the others, I promise, even though I know a lot of you like it when I talk. There's a lot of people that don't like it when I talk a lot. So this one's going to be like a medium amount of talking, even though I've already been going on loads. I'll see you once this is on the bench because it's heavy. Okay guys, so one of the first things we need to do is create a groove for this little bottom guide runner to run in. So that just needs to go, that fixes to the floor and it'll run in a groove in the bottom of the door that we haven't got yet. So what I've got is I've got my grooving cutter in my router here, if you can see that. That's the one that we use to just do the tongue and grooves. We're going to use that to put a groove in. But what I don't want to do is I don't want to burst through the sides on both sides, because I think it'll look a bit horrible when you're looking at the door. So we're going to stop just short of it on both sides and hopefully that'll be enough. You can see I'll put some just like wallpaper, lining paper on the door to protect it. Yeah, again, I'm just protecting that finish because I don't want to have to redo it. It's still a little bit tacky. So we're going to set our groove halfway into the bottom rail. We don't really want to go into this T&G bit. We want to go in a nice solid bit of rail. So we'll set our height to that. Okay, that looks good. Doesn't have to be exactly in the centre unless you want it to be. I'm just going like eyeballing in the middle of that, and then we'll run our groove. And like I said, we're going to stop just short of either end, just so it don't run out. So let's run that. Okay guys, and you can see there's our groove running there, and that's just going to allow this little piece to run in that slot there nicely. Perfect. That's all the machining we need to do with the bottom of the door. So I'm going to get this turned round and we can do it. Focus our attention on the top of the door now. Right, okay guys, so here we are at the top of the door. Excuse me for the camera angle, it's the only angle I can get in. I have got another camera over here, so we're chopping and changing between the pair. So we're at the top of the door now, and what we need to do is get this piece installed up here. We're going to go nice and central to this rail here, and I want to put my, this doesn't come with any instructions, so what I've worked out to is this hole is going to be 42mm from the top of there, and then obviously the next one's going to be the next one down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down some masking tape to do this, just so that we're not putting any pencil marks on our new door. And then what we want to do is find the middle of our rail. So I've got it's actually 88mm, but I'm going to treat it as a 99mm rail, a 90mm rail, sorry. So we're going to strike a line up there at 45mm. That's going to be the bottom of the middle of our rail. And then we're going to mark down 42mm because that's what I established I wanted to use. And that's going to be our first hole there. And then we need to measure the distance, but what we can actually do is just lay this one on and get the centre hole for that one, which is going to be, I will tell you in a second, that is going to be 132mm for that centre hole. So we can mark that out. Now what I'd recommend doing now is actually clamping a scrap piece of timber on the back, just so when you drill through it doesn't blow the other side out. So I'm going to get that all on, and then we'll get this all drilled out. Okay, yeah, like I said, that 10mm was a bit tight, so I've got an 11mm here. So nice and slowly. That's much better. 11mm is the key. If you haven't got an 11, you can probably go with a 12, to be honest, and it'll be all right. But I just like to get them as tight as possible with no friction. Okay, guys, so it's now time to fit our runner. So the way these go together is you get a nut and then a washer. You put that in, and that goes through your bottom hole. So this is your decorative face, the face you're going to see. You then pop this over the top, and then you're going to put another washer on, and then you're going to put our nut on the top of that. And we'll do the same in the other hole. As you can see here, I've already got a washer on there. So we'll pop our washer through, our bolt through, sorry. Pop our washer on, and then we'll do our nut up. Now they're only done up loose at the moment because we need to actually make this sure this is square. So you can see at the minute that's not sitting square at all. So what we're going to do is take our combination square, put it down the side, and you can see we've got a massive gap down here because it's not square. Even though we drilled these holes square to the top, we've got quite a lot of plate in there, as you can see. So we're just going to square that up, get it nice and square, and there you go, that's sitting nice and true. And you can see we've got a nice even margin down the side of this now. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a socket on the top. Now we don't want to use anything too rough, so we've got a nice clean socket, and then a spanner on the bottom, and we're just going to tighten these up. You don't need to go mental with tightening these up, but you do want them tight because you don't want this slopping around as it's running. So just tighten that down, work on the bottom one, and then give that a real nice clamp up. As I said, you don't need to hang on this to get it done up, but you do want it tight. And there we go, that's our door ready to be installed on the inside, but obviously we need to fit the track system. So I'm going to take this over to the house, and then I'll meet you over there and we'll look at getting the track system installed. Okay guys, so it's time to put our track up. Now you can see I've got this bit of timber already fixed to the wall, and the reason why I've got this up here is because the fixings that come with it are not very good, basically. So they tend to want to pull out of the wall. So you put a nice piece of timber, and I've done it in oak so it matches the door. Not mad keen on the look of it, but we're going for strength over anything else. So yeah, what we need to do is fix into this. So we're going to use the fixings that come with it, which are these fixings here, if you can see that, like the screw lag bolt type ones. What we're going to do is we're going to drill that into the bit of oak and into the wall as well. Because these are a soft block wall, it should grip into the wall and grip into the bit of oak at the same time. We're going to be using the bit of wood to hold this up rather than the soft block wall, because it's going to want to pull out. We've got no lintel above our door as well, which is quite good. What I'd recommend doing for you guys, if you did have a lintel or anything, is to drill through and then take it back off again and then open it up and put a raw plug in there, and then you can screw through this and into the wall as well. But in my case I don't need to do that because we're going to go straight. These will bite into the soft block. The blocks on these walls aren't very good at all, so yeah, we're going to use these are pull through into the bit of oak and into the block wall behind it, but primarily all the fixing's going to be done on the bit of oak that's already fixed up there. So we've got our laser line up here and I've set that. The way I've worked that out is, now you will have to check this on your door, because the only problem with these cheap runner systems is they're all completely different. So I'm afraid, unless I knew exactly what one you had and had it in front of me, I wouldn't be able to work it out for you. But mine is 2 meters 15 from the bottom of the door to there, and that gives me a 5mm gap at the bottom of the door. My floors are nice and level. If your floors are out, you're going to have to account for that as well, so make it a little bit higher if you have to. But 2 meter 15 is bang on for what I'm going to do, and that's going to be the center of my track to these holes here. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to measure down from there to the bottom of the track and set my laser level to that, because it's far easier to work to the bottom of the track than it is the hole. So I'll measure from the middle of the hole down. I might put a bit of masking tape up along that bit of wood just so we can mark on it freely without getting any pencil marks all over it, and then I'll mark out and drill these holes. So I'll bring you in and show you that when we get there. Okay guys, I hope you can see that all right. I was going to put masking tape on there, but unfortunately the masking tape wouldn't stick to the bit of oak. So what we're going to do is just lay our track on, get our laser level set to the bottom, and we're just going to draw the circle of where we want to put our fixings on this. Once we've done that, we'll do the same for the second piece, and then we can drill out these holes. Okay guys, so now that we've got all of our holes drilled out and we're happy with them, what we're going to do is actually fix our track to the wall. So what you want to do is put this together in this orientation here. So these little legs, the bigger bits, are facing towards the back, because if you do it the other way around, the runners will actually hit on those. So we're going to take our time and get these nice and level. You can see we've still got our laser level set up. So hoping to get a really nice bite into that bit of oak. Okay guys, when putting the second piece up, it's important to put one of these stop ends on first, because you can't get them on afterwards. Don't ask me how I know that, just from experience. So yeah, slot that on first, and then we can get our second bit of track up. Okay guys, so it's time now to fit our little bottom guide runner. I've actually cut this down a little bit because it was really long. It was up here somewhere. So I've trimmed it down a little bit. And I've worked out my spacing is 45mm from my wall, not from the face of my skirting board, but actually from my wall behind there. So I've measured that out and I've marked that. And when I put that on, you can see when I made this bottom threshold bit, if I move you around a little bit, you can see when I made this bottom threshold bit, I didn't make this deep enough, but I didn't have this track at the time. So yeah, I'll leave a link to a video up here of when I actually made this threshold, just in case you guys want to make one yourself. But it's going to slightly overhang the front, but I'm not too fussed about that because the door is going to cover it, so you won't see it. But yeah, should have made this maybe 10mm deeper. It's just going to be a bit tight for getting a screw in the front there, but we're going to fit it anyway. And if you can see it, and it does bother me, I'll just cut this front down a little bit and change that. Okay, so making sure we're piloting here, because we don't want to split our lovely bit of wood on the front. You can see I can just about get a screw in now. It might split. This one will be fine. They really are terrible screws that come with this. Okay, nice and gently put this one in, because I really don't want to split this. Okay, we just about got away with that. Like I said, see, it's overhanging, but I think the door will cover that. Worst case, if it doesn't, I'll change it out. Okay guys, so it's now time to actually hook the door on itself. Now, in theory, it's a really simple job to do, because it is literally just hooking the door on. But it's a bit fiddly, because you've got to get it into that bottom runner and onto them top ones at the same time. So what I think I'm going to do is hook it on the bottom one, locate that, and then I can just sort of slightly lift up and hook onto that top one. That's the theory anyway, so hopefully that should work. So let's give it a go. Right, let's give this a go. It's a super heavy door. So that's it in the bottom one, and then that's the top. Whew. And there we go, we're in. So that is now in position. So we need to set our stops at where we want them and then fit our handle on. So let's do that. So I think we'll start with doing the closed position handle first. Okay, so there's no real easy way of me showing you how this fits, but basically it just slots on the end like that. And then if I get my little GoPro and I'll show you, you've got two little grub screws underneath that you do up, and that locks it in its position. So I've got it in its open position here, or in its closed position, sorry, where I want it to stop. And you can see them little rubber pads just stop it once you screw it up. So let's do them up. Okay, that's that one fitted. So you can see that door stops lovely on there. So now we'll go over the other side and do the open position one. Okay guys, so it's time to fit the handle. So you can see I've just got a simple T-bar handle, and then this goes on the outside that you can get your fingers in. It's a little bit dusty at the minute, and it just bolts through the door. So that sits nice and flush on the outside of the door, and that sits on the inside of the door, or vice versa. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with the mid rail, and we're going to get that fixed in the center of that jamb, and we can actually use this as a drilling template, which is really good. So we'll get our square again, we'll establish the middle of this rail, 45mm, and then we'll get this on lined up and we can drill that in. Okay, and there we have it guys. Now unfortunately I forgot to press record when I was screwing the handle on, but it just bolts on from the outside, so that's pretty simple. But that's how you fit one of these doors. It runs lovely, really nice. I've put a whole playlist up in the top corner for you guys, so if you haven't watched the making process of this, you can go through and watch that. But I'm going to leave it there guys. I'm going to ask you guys to do me a massive favour. We're working our way through the fruit bowl still. We're still kind of there. So if you can write the word grapefruit down in the comments for me, it just helps me to know who's got this far in the video, and it really helps the algorithm as well. So yeah, just write the word grapefruit down there, and anything else you want to add. If you've got any questions you want to ask, or if you've got any suggestions for me going forward of other ways of doing stuff, you know, every day's a school day. We're all here to learn. So yeah, yeah, let me know if you like it. Let me know if this is your cup of tea or not. You know, if you like this sort of thing, or if you'd go with something else. Just let me know down in the comments, guys. Hit that like button if you got anything from this video at all. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.